Happy Sentinels Tuesday, everybody. How about that Oblivion live stream? I haven't actually recorded it yet, so I don't know how it's going. Spoilers. But if you missed it, never fear. I'm planning on uploading the edited video of it probably this month. Hopefully, if everything goes right, we shall see. Today, we are looking at Commonwealth, the Heroes of the Missions deck. Letters page didn't give me a whole lot to work with, but I figure, hey, this guy's an American splashed proletariat, just like every man, so that works, you know? That works. Now I know what you're thinking. Take Walker, you dummy. You already did a heroic proletariat deck once. To which I would say yes. Funny story about that. Comrade and Commonwealth were released very close together, possibly on the same day both threads went up, and Comrade has always kind of overshadowed this guy. He was created by Matthew Malachy, aka Fleck1313. He's done a really good job with this whole US flag outfit thing. Like, I don't know if I would have had the stomach to do that myself, because every single one of these cards you're going to recognize the artwork, and it's all proletariat with this American flag motif, and it's actually pretty darn good. He plays very differently from Comrade. Comrade's a lot more defensive, I think, whereas Commonwealth is a lot more about being a damage hose. I feel like he actually plays more along the lines of being proletariat and doing proletariat things, whereas Comrade is more, you know, this is Alexander Tsarev working on the side of good and maybe not quite believing in himself or something like that. He's holding back, whereas Commonwealth, not so much. He will be facing Daybreaker, who is a variant for my Nightmare Moon deck. She's fun, she's a big damage race, lots of fire. The hero team includes Gargoyle 2199, brand new variant for him, regular old Benchmark, and regular old Skyscraper, because, I don't know, that's just how things turned out. We'll be playing in a modified Dok'Thorath capital. More about that in a minute. So, let's see what this Firehorse has in store. She has no setup at the start of the game. She has a lot more HP than Nightmare Moon. It says Daybreaker is immune to fire damage. Good thing. I don't think anyone here... Oh, Skyscraper does a little bit. Actually, Benchmark does a lot. He's gonna... Yeah, the Inferno Missile Pod's gonna become completely useless. Oops. Oh well. When a villain card is discarded, put a token on this card. When a villain one-shot would enter play, discard it instead, and Daybreaker deals the 2 hero targets the highest HP, 2 fire damage each. So this gets around the whole problem of, you know, this card says that Nightmare Moon does a thing, Nightmare Moon is not in this game, who cares? When a villain relic would enter play, discard it and flip this card. At the start of the villain turn, if there are 4 or more tokens on this card, flip this card. At the end of the villain turn, play the top card of the villain deck, then Daybreaker deals the hero target with the highest HP for fire damage. So she just does lots and lots of fire damage, and you might be thinking to yourself, okay, that means I'll bring Ra and use Flesh of the Sun God and make everybody immune to fire damage. And you would think that, but number one, that's going to be all you're doing, because he's not going to be dealing her any damage, and B, when she flips, she stops doing fire damage. But let's go ahead and get started. She starts with, a knight. Well, all the things that were not actually listed. Fashionable Guard pulls targets out of the trash and heals, so she's going to have to go. End of the villain turn, play top card of the villain deck. That's a one-shot, so she hits the 2 highest for 2 each. That's Skyscraper and Benchmark. And then she hits the highest for 4, and that's Skyscraper. And there are no targets in the trash, so Rarity does nothing. Gargoyle. I think I'm going to start with Agile Technique, because that was a really cool ability. Go ahead and use that. I'll use his base power next time. So deal up to 2 targets, 2 toxic damage each. He'll hit Daybreaker, and let's say Benchmark. And then if a hero target was damaged this way, Gargoyle deals the 3rd target, X +1 melee damage, where X is the damage dealt to that hero, so he'll hit Rarity for 3. Draw a card. Oh good, Reinforced Chassis, that's a good way to start. Get his damage reduction. He's going to need it. He will do, he'll do 1 damage to Daybreaker, and draw 2 cards. Good enough. I'm going to play Replicate, but I'm not going to use it. Well, You know what, maybe I will go ahead and use it. Search your deck or trash for a clone, put it into play. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck. Commonwealth clones all have 6 HP. Whenever Commonwealth would be dealt damage from a non-Commonwealth source, you may redirect that damage to your clone with the least HP. Start of your turn, this card deals 1 target, 1 melee damage, so he doesn't take the start of turn psychic damage that Comrade does. Draw a card. We're not going to get rid of Rarity, are we? Rebounding Debilitator. And draw 3 cards. Okay, so, Dok'Thorath has had 2 cards modified. It's Thorathian Military and Freedom Fighters. They've both been modified in the same way, which is that now they do their damage at the start of the environment turn. So we can just ignore them for a minute. Okay, so, her first card play is a 1-shot. Discard that token. And she hits Gargoyle and Benchmark for 2. Second card play, 1-shot. Discard it token, and she hits Skyscraper and Benchmark for 1, and then she'll hit the highest for 4, and Rebounding Debilitator will stop that, and Rarity shuffles Villain Trash. Okay, play Something to Fear. Select a target, reduce the next damage it deals by 1. Search your deck and transfer a 100 card, put it into play in your hand. If you search your deck, shuffle it. I have a lot of selections here. Leech Field. Once per turn, when Gargoyle deals or is dealt damage, or when a non-hero target is dealt damage, you may reduce that damage by 1 and increase the next damage dealt by Gargoyle by 1. Alright, his power is Sustain. You may destroy a hero, ongoing, or equipment card. If you do, a player plays a card. Draw a card. I don't actually have anything I want to destroy yet. Well, you know, I could drop Replicate and have Skyscraper play a micro-assembler that she can blow up later, and then draw 2 cards. I figured the 2 of them are going to get along pretty well. Okay, load on initialization. He'll ping Daybreaker for 1 and draw 2 cards, and that's his turn. Alright, in the start of his turn, that Commonwealth will hit rarity for 1. Now play Surrounded. Increase the next damage dealt by a Commonwealth by X, where X is the number of your clones in play, so that's +1. You may play a card other than Surrounded. We'll play Liberator of the Weak. Play this card next to a target. Increase damage dealt to and by Commonwealth to that target by 2. Decrease damage dealt to and by Commonwealth to all other targets by 1. On rarity, this is a bit of a waste. Start of his turn, yeah, Commonwealth would have hit that for 1. And then we'll use the People's Elbow. Each Commonwealth deals a target 1 melee damage. So, if I put it there. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2 and 2, they'll take out the military. That sticks around, so he's basically got a -1 damage dealt right now, but draw a card. That will be good fodder for Gargoyle to blow up. Alright, Skyscraper's going to play Explosive Reveal, drop that micro-assembler, and drop Rarity. And then draw 3 cards. I don't mind having wasted one of those 2 damage bursts, because if I'd hit Daybreaker, it would have been 2 damage anyway. So, the other card is Freedom Fighters. Go figure. We'll probably want to take care of them too. Alright, start her turn. Nothing happens. She plays a card. 1 shot. Discard it. Token, and she's going to hit Gargoyle for 1, reduced to nothing, giving him another +1, and Skyscraper for 2. And then she plays a card, 1 shot, discard it. She'll flip next round. She hits Gargoyle and Benchmark, and then she'll hit Benchmark for a grand total of 3. Okay. She's slowly chewing through their HP. Essence Theft. Gargoyle will deal 1 target 3, 4, 5 melee damage, and he heals 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Sustain, take out Liberator of the Weak, like I said I was gonna. Somebody can play a card. How about Benchmark? Yeah, let's get him set up a bit more. Legion Core Processor, and draw 2 cards. Okay, so start his turn, he can draw a card or play a software card. I'll go ahead and play Multipoint HUD. And then at the start of his turn, he can use a power. I'll use Multipoint HUD and increase damage dealt by Benchmark by this turn by 1. Then I think I'm going to play the Secondary Cannon. And that is whenever you use a power, you can discard a card. If you do, Benchmark deals a target 1 projectile damage. So we'll use his base power, and I think we're going to want to take out the Freedom Fighters. So he'll hit them for 2 energy damage, discard a card, and deal a target 2 projectile damage. Boom, they're done for, and draw 2 cards. We're going to do the same thing we did last time. Surrounded, increase the next damage dealt by a Commonwealth by 1. Oh yeah, start of their turn, the clone hits that for 1. And then I can play a card other than Surrounded. We'll Liberate of the Weak on Daybreaker, and use the People's Elbow. So 1, 2 from Surrounded, 3, 4 from this, plus another 3 from this clone, because it's each Commonwealth. So that's a total of 7 damage. Draw a card. Okay, Skyscraper feels like actually doing something other than drawing cards. She gets, a Neutralizing Resonator and a Cortex Hyperstimulator. Oh, fantastic. Put that into play. You know what? I'll play the Neutralizing Resonator as well. Well, no, I don't want to play that because that discards a villain card. So we're going to just leave that alone. That would be dumb. She can play up to 2. Let's go ahead and play this Rebounding Debilitator. And then she'll pull the other Rebounding Debilitator back from her trash and draw a card. Alright, Dok'Thorath Capital, into the stuff that I haven't put down. Oh, cripes. Orbital Bombardment? Well, alright. Start of her turn. She has 5 tokens. She flips 2 Might of the Sun. Daybreaker's still immune to fire damage. When a villain card will be played, discard it instead, and Daybreaker regains 4 hit points. Start of the villain turn. If there are no tokens on this card, flip this card. At the end of the villain turn, remove all tokens from this card, and Daybreaker deals each non-villain target X irreducible radiant damage, where X is the number of tokens removed. She flips from heat to light. Alright, so we discard the top card of the villain deck. It was a guard. Cool. She heals 4, and then she hits everybody for 5. Rebounding Debilitator is going to prevent the first damage to Commonwealth. Her next damage, well, It's irreducible, so the Cortex Hyperstimulator doesn't help, but it will take out the clone, and then everybody else take 5 irreducible. He can just leech 1 off of that, and that's it, and she hits herself for 1. That was a really bad time to play that card. Violent Assist might actually be helpful if Skyscraper decides to get big. Once per turn, one gargoyle would be dealt damage by another hero target. You may prevent that damage. If you do, increase the next damage dealt by gargoyle by X, where X is the amount of damage prevented that way. I think I'll use Agile Technique and just hit her for 3. Draw a card. Okay, he can play a software card. Threat Neutralizer. That's important. And then he can use a power. He'll use multi-point HUD, discard a card, deal a target 2 projectile damage. And then I'll play Microfabricator. End of your turn. For his power, he'll use Threat Neutralizer, drop the Orbital Bombardment. I will not discard that last card. Draw a card. And then at the end of your turn, you may play a hardware card or draw a card, then you may discard a card. I'll just draw one. Okay, Commonwealth. Overrun. This is a fantastic card. When one of your clones enters play, Commonwealth's character card deals a target 3 melee damage. For now, he will just hit her for 3 and draw a card. Okay, I'm going to be smart about this. I want to play Proportionist, now that I've got Violent Assist out. Use her power. We'll play 2 Neutralizing Resonators, discarding 2 cards. That's another Nightwing Guard, and a Relic, good. And then she will pull this Rebounding Debilitator back into her hand and draw a card. And Nightmare Moon does not have any ongoings, but Gargoyle can eat those for other effects. This is going to be awesome. Dok'Thorath Capital. Ooh, Defiant Looters. They need to go. Discard the top card of each deck. If an equipment card is discarded this way, move it to its owner's hand. Hey, Bioenergy Pulse. Thank you. Another Relic. Thank you, Looters. 1 shot and a Link. And Thorathian Military. Okay, that was helpful, but we don't want them discarding any more villain cards. Speaking of which, she flips and plays a Lunar Guard. Don't think there are any in the trash. Yeah, we might want to leave those guys out. So when this card enters play, put all Lunar Guards into play from the villain trash. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals the hero target with the highest HP, 2 melee damage. Annoying, but they get more annoying the longer you leave them out. Then she plays a card. 1 shot. Discard it. Token. Her first damage is reduced by 1. It will be reduced by a second 1 to Gargoyle, and then she hits Skyscraper. Then she deals 4 damage to Gargoyle and hits herself for 1. And then the guard hits benchmark for 2, reduced to 1. Okay, exciting. Let's do Ultimatum. This is a really good time for this. Destroy 3 hero ongoing or equipment cards belonging to other players. We'll drop Liberator of the Week and both of these neutralizing resonators. Gargoyle deals a target X toxic damage, where X is 3 times the number of cards destroyed this way, so that'll be a total of 10 damage. Awesome! Then we'll use Agile Technique. 2 to her and 2 to the looters and draw a card. Okay, he can play a software card. Play Auto-Targeting Protocol. Then I can use a power, multi-point HUD, not discarding anything. Countermeasures. That might be useful. Whenever benchmark would be dealt damage by a non-hero target with 2 or fewer HP, destroy that target instead. And then he will ping her for 2, not discard a card, draw 2 cards. And did I get any hardware? No. Draw another card. Okay, Share in the Struggle. It bothers me that this has the same name as a Proletariat card, but whatever. It does the same thing. You get 2 clones out of your deck. And because they entered play, I get to deal target 3 and 3 melee damage. Fantastic. And then we'll use the People's Elbow, take out the looters, and then the clones will go after Daybreaker. Draw a card. I'll play Linking Incursion, see what I get. 2 Compulsion Canisters. Wow. So, one of those on her. She hits them for 2, and Gargoyle's going to leech that because it's irreducible and just get a +1 to his next attack. And then same thing. That was awesome. And for her power, she'll play a single Rebounding Debilitator because I don't want to play the second one. I'm going to play the Micro Assembler on benchmark. That can get blown up later, but after he uses it. And then, let's see, pull back a Compulsion Canister and draw a card. I'm in that groove where I'm tiny Skyscraper, and I don't want to go out of it because I will not be able to play so many cards. Authorities Ziggurat. Villain targets are immune to damage dealt by Thorathians. Not that important. Daybreaker plays a 1-shot token. She'll hit Gargoyle for 0 and up his next damage, and Skyscraper for 2, and then she plays a card. It's a relic. She flips. Well, and actually, yeah, we discard it first, so she gets a token, and then she flips, and she hits everybody for 3 irreducible damage. First, we're going to prevent the one going to Commonwealth, so everybody take 3. And that's it for that. She hits herself for 1, and the guard is going to kick Commonwealth and hit one of his clones. Cool. I'm going to play Grim Herald again. Gargoyle deals target 5 toxic damage. Another player may discard a card. If they do, you may play or draw a card now. She'll discard her other copy of Proportionist, because this is not a game where our stuff is going to blow up. Yeah, I'll play Bioenergy Pulse. Whenever Gargoyle deals himself damage, he may also deal that damage to another target. For a power, I think he will... He's not got stuff to blow up. Okay, he'll just use Agile Technique and take out both of the villain targets. Draw a card. Oh, and actually, that second hit, because that knight had 1 HP, he can reduce his damage by 1, because he's dealing a non-hero target damage, and get a +1 to his next attack. Oh, he's so much fun. Alright, what software do I have? Let's play Shunt Enter. Oh, wait, no, I don't want to play software. No. That's not a hardware. I will draw a card, and then I'll use multi-point HUD, discard a card, deal her 2 damage. He'll play Flyby, hit her for 2, and put it back into his hand. And then for a power, I'll discard, one of the countermeasures, search for onboard cooling systems, put it into play, shuffle my deck, and then I can use another power. Yeah, I can use an additional power during my power phase. Fantastic. Let's do... Auto-targeting protocol, hit her for 2, discard a card, yeah, and hit her for 2 more. Draw a card. And, I got more hardware. I'm playing that. End of his turn, he regains a hit point. Woo! Okay, we can blow up that card now. Overwhelming hashtags. I've given the creator some feedback, including a way to actually write that card name out. I did that like yesterday as I record this, so he hasn't had a chance to do it yet. Overwhelming numbers. Select a target. Each Commonwealth deals that target 1 irreducible melee damage. Oh yeah, start of his turn, each of the clones hits her for 1, and then each of them hits her for 1, and then we'll use the People's Elbow, and each of them hits her for 1. That's 8 damage. That's really cool. And you know what? He can leech field one of those irreducible damages. It's so cheesy, and I love it. Guess I'm going to Linking Incursion again. Aggression Modulator going in hand, and Aggression Modulator. Well, I'm set up for the next thing that comes out. She will play Compulsion Canister and have Daybreaker deal herself 2, and he'll leech it. And then, Rebounding Debilitator is a good idea. And then I'll take one of those back and draw a card. It's fantastic. Dok'Thorath. Freedom Fighters. Hey, there we go. I'm going to play all my aggression modulators on them, and then we can leave them out. Okay, start of her turn, she flips back. 1 shot. Discard it. She hits the highest for 1. That's Commonwealth. He'll take it, because he doesn't have to redirect it. And then she hits old Benchmark for 1. And then she plays a card. 1 shot. Token. Yeah, she'll hit Commonwealth. He'll take it. And hit Gargoyle, and he'll leech 1 of it. And then she goes to deal 4 damage, and that's prevented, and then she hits herself for 1. Think we're going to win this. This has been a fun game, though. Absorb and Unleash. Gargoyle may deal a target 0 toxic damage. Let's make that 4 toxic damage. Gargoyle deals 1 hero target 2 toxic damage. Who can take that? How about Benchmark? He'll take 1. And then Gargoyle deals up to X targets 3 toxic damage each, where X is the amount of damage dealt to that hero target, so he'll just deal 1 target damage. Boom. I think I'll use Sustain. Drop that Compulsion Canister. Somebody can play a card. Colossal Left Hook, so she get big, and deal a damage, and then hit her for 3. And then I will discard a card and have her play Undetectable Relinking. So she goes back to being small, draws a card, and I'm not actually going to put anything back in her hand. We've blown up too many of her links. Oh wait, no, that's true. I could pull back the micro assembler and put out the Compulsion Canister, and she deals herself 2 and hits them for 2, and he leeches that for 1. And he draws 2 cards. That's a really good power. Granted, this is like the perfect team to deal with it. Okay, start of turn. I can play a software. I'm going to do that. Deal a target 2 cold damage, then use power, multi-point HUD, not discarding a card. Then I'm going to play Flyby, hit her for 2, put that back in his hand. I'm sorry, 3. And then he gets to use 2 powers. I think this is going to be the game, because he will use his base power, hit her for 2, draw a card, and then use auto-targeting protocol and hit her for 2 and finish her off. Okay. Well, that was pretty cool. So, Commonwealth, well, he got to show off a little bit of what he does. Not all of it, though. Let's take a look at his deck. All or Nothing, destroy any number of your clones. Commonwealth's character card deals a target X plus 2 melee damage, where X is the number of clones destroyed this way times 2. A little confusing, but it's fine. That Start Over, destroy any number of your clones. You draw X cards, where X is the number of clones destroyed this way times 2. Defensive Formation, reduce damage dealt to your clone with the lowest HP by X, where X is 1 for every 2 Commonwealths in play. Strength of Many, increase melee damage dealt by Commonwealth's character card by X, where X is 3, minus 1 for every 2 Commonwealths in play. So, variant cards off of Proletariats. We the People, search your deck or trash for a clone, put it into play. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck, draw a card. Flanking Maneuvers, whenever Commonwealth's character card deals damage to a target, your clone with the lowest HP deals the same target 2 melee damage. Power, select the target, up to 2 Commonwealths deal that target 2 melee damage each. Divide and Conquer, increase damage dealt to Commonwealth by 1, When Commonwealth takes 3 or more damage, place a clone from your trash into play. Power, Commonwealth's character card deals himself 2 psychic damage, then destroy this card. So that power will get you 1 clone out of your trash. 1 too many, or 1 too many if you want. Place any number of clones from your trash into play. Very cool, very useful with Overrun out, and that's actually his deck. He's fairly simple. He's a lot of fun to run, especially when you get him set up. I didn't get him set up quite as much as I probably could have. He needed more card draw was the problem. This was a play-heavy group, not a draw-heavy group, but that's fine. The modded Dok'Thorath is honestly really nice. I don't like playing in Dok'Thorath normally, but moving all their damage to the start of the turn really takes the heat off. And it's worth mentioning that the Gene-bound Ravagers still act at the end, so you're still going to take some damage if you run into them, which we did not. Daybreaker, of course, she's just a damage race. If you have good healing, you'll probably outlast her, or if you just have really good damage dealers, you'll probably take her out before she takes you out. But that's what the extra HP is for. She's probably a little bit easier than regular Nightmare Moon. I like her. She's fun. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. As always, the Reavers, Sentinels, and Cauldron DLC, Adelphophage's Archives, and Walker's Workbench are not licensed to create the game's products. Please support the official release and flip.